company. My name is Ansar Ali. I'm your host until 6 o'clock, inshallah. You're listening to Salaam Radio on 106.2 FM in the Greater Peterborough area. Inspire FM in Luton on 105.1 FM and Link FM in Sheffield 96.7 FM. And like all this week, today we are promoting, telling you more about the Visit My Mosque initiative that has been going on for a number of years now. We have 3 Peterborough mosques participating and many other mosques across the country, across the UK, participating in this great initiative, which is growing in popularity every year. And on Monday evening, we had guests from the Ghosia Mosque in Peterborough and from the Khatija Masjid Islamic Centre in Peterborough. Today, I'm delighted to welcome guests in the studio from the Burton Street Mosque in Peterborough, Hussaini Islamic Centre, that is. Assalamu alaikum, Mullah Qasim Ali.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
And we also have brother Zohair Walji. Assalamu alaikum to you.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Well, thank you very much, both of you, for joining us here in the Salaam Radio studios in Peterborough. We'll be talking to you, inshallah, before too long. But at the very beginning of the program, we have a caller on the line. It is Julia. Julia, good evening and welcome to Salaam Radio. You're live.
Good evening, Ansar Ali. How are you? And thank you for inviting me.
You are most welcome. We are talking about the Visit My Mosque initiative. 3 mosques in Peterborough are participating this year. It's an initiative that is growing in popularity. Many non-Muslims are taking advantage of this special day to come along and find out more about Islam and the Muslim community. Julia, you came to one of these events last year. Just tell us, what were your observations?
Well, I have to say, my observations was one that I was completely overwhelmed by the welcome I received coming to the mosque. It was my first ever opportunity of entering inside a mosque, and I have to say, I hope it won't be the last. Everybody inside was very friendly, very warm and inviting. They're very knowledgeable. They allowed me to look at, some of your scriptures and what you are representing for Peterborough, for the youngsters and for adults, and basically for everybody to come along to one of your open day events and get an idea of what local mosques are doing in Peterborough.
How important do you think initiatives like this are in Britain of today, which is extremely diverse? We've got diverse faith communities across the whole of the UK.
I think it is very diverse, because when you think of all the religions and the multicultural communities that we have in Peterborough, it's a very good insight to what the mosque is actually doing. I found it to be a place of worship, a place of educational. I found it to be embracing other communities to come along and basically to say, don't be afraid. We all believe in our own beliefs. We all follow a different religion, but it's about a community coming together and getting a better understanding of each other and being of acceptance of each other's cultures.
Sometimes there are myths about Islam and about Muslims. Quite often I say, and you and I have had conversations before as well, that people have opinions about Islam and Muslims, sometimes from what they've read in the paper, in the newspaper, what they've heard in the media. But very often they've probably never been in a mosque and they've never met a Muslim.
Well, I would say to that, Ansar Ali, is that please don't be blindsided by everything that you read in the media, whether it be in the tabloid papers, whether it's on broadcast. The best recognition on first-hand experience is to go along yourself and go inside, be welcomed the way I was, and have the opportunity to engage with other people from different cultures, and that way you are being informed and you have formed your own opinion.
And as a woman, you had no difficulty being welcomed?
No, none whatsoever. I mean, I was very respectful. I had my head covered. I don't know if it's something that is traditional with Muslims, but I thought it's something that I would expect if you was to come into a church that I support. So I went in that fashion. I was engaged with other different people within the Muslim faith, and I was allowed to observe prayer. I was allowed to just see what it is that you offer as a Muslim in Peterborough, in the community. What I will say is, I was amazed by the different cultures that attended on my visit last year. And it was one that, as I say, a very welcomed experience. I had no idea prior to this. There was information about the Quran. There was different messages on your wall. I didn't know. I can't read. I have no understanding of that. But I said, can you please explain to me what these accounts on the walls are about? And it was all to do with prayer. It was all to do with Allah. It was all to do with welcoming people and saying, don't be afraid. What you actually do is, I would say, very commendable. You were supporting of homeless people. You were supporting on doing events where people could come to food banks. You were not just doing it for one community, you were doing it for all. So for me, it was a very welcoming experience, and one that I thoroughly enjoy. And I do believe there is another event taking place this Sunday.
Absolutely. And what would you, Julia, my last question, what would you say to people, non-Muslims who are listening to this broadcast this evening, and Muslims in terms of this Sunday? What should they be doing? It's an open invitation. Everyone is welcome.
Well, there it is in a nutshell. It is an open invitation. Everybody is welcomed. And if you have no idea, please don't be afraid. Please don't think that you're not going to be welcomed. You must come and get first-hand experience and insight into what goes on in a mosque, and just be a part of something bigger than what people don't know. You cannot rely on innuendos, and you cannot rely on what is being printed in our media. So we must be open-minded, and we must be accepting of each other.
Absolutely. Julia, thank you very much indeed for that beautiful conversation, sharing your observations of visiting the mosque last year as part of Visit My Mosque event, and hopefully you'll be attending this Sunday as well.
I would love to come on Sunday, and thank you very much for the invite.
Wonderful. Thank you very much indeed. And thank you for coming on Salaam Radio, on Inspire FM and Link FM. And it's been a pleasure talking to you. Bye for now.
Thank you, Ansar Ali. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye. That was Julia, who came to one of the events last year during the Visit My Mosque event in Peterborough, sharing her experience of her visit as a non-Muslim. Now we turn to our guests in the studio, Mullah Ansar Ali and brother Zohair Walji. You've got your open day on Sunday as well. Husseini Islamic Center, Burton Street Mosque, once again participating along with two other mosques in Peterborough. How are you looking forward to this event this year?
First of all, I think this is the third year that Husseini Islamic Center is participating in this national event. As you mentioned earlier, that about many mosques across UK are holding open day, and this is the beauty of this Visit My Mosque Day, is that it's on the same day throughout all the mosques. We have prepared ourselves well, and we look really forward to welcoming our guests coming to see our center.
Okay, Brother Zohair, what sort of preparations have been taking place this year with all the volunteers from your congregation?
So everyone's upbeat about the Visit My Mosque Open Day. It's an event which gets everyone together. The youngsters and the adults come together to do all the preparation.
Our sisters play a big part as well.
And the sisters play a big part. They are obviously preparing exhibitions on there, and their involvement in the event is as important as the event as everyone else's involvement. So I guess what I can say is that given that we have all this preparation going on in the background, we open the invitation to the public to make an effort. If you've never been to the mosque, statistics show that 90% of the people have not been to a mosque. And this will be an opportunity for you to come and get that first-hand experience, as was mentioned by Julia previously, who's been to the mosque and has seen the various activities that go in, on a daily basis, what we do. And, sometimes there is a misconception that a mosque is only a place of prayer, but actually a mosque is more than that.
Absolutely. And Mullah Qasim Ali, you're always there as well, along with the other scholars as well. What sort of questions do non-Muslims ask when they come to visit?
There are various questions that they ask, and I think most of these questions are being picked up from what they read in the media. Something concerning women wearing hijab, something concerning jihad. Some of them are really interested to know about the prayers, the way we pray 5 times a day, and the actions in the prayers itself. There was a time when we used to have our own open day, and it was nearing the month of Ramadan. So many questions on the holy month of Ramadan. So the questions are various, and I think by the time from the feedback we receive is that their questions are answered and they go informed once they leave the center.
And it is very important, isn't it, that they actually meet real people, come to a mosque setting and really find out for themselves what happens in the mosque. Because, as I often say, ignorance breeds prejudice.
Correct. And this is so important that this is an opportunity. And I remember once in one of the open days, one of the lady from a church who was present there, and she informed one of the head of the church that the same way as the Muslims are organizing an open day, the churches should also be organizing. So the point to make here is that once a person goes to a different place of worship, come to know about many things. And like Brother Zuhair Walji said, that it's not just the prayer itself. You come and your eyes are open and you come to realize that this is more like a community center. And it's not only the worship and the religious activities, the educational, sports, and all the other activities taking place in the
center. And it's also an opportunity for the Muslim community to share the humanitarian work that we do in our communities, the wider communities, not just with the Muslim community, but with the wider community where we live, in cities like Peterborough, Sheffield, Luton, Leicester, anywhere.
Yeah, I mean, there's many events and such activities that go on, things like supporting, the food banks and the Syrian migrants and many other. There is the soup kitchen which happens on a regular basis, and this soup kitchen takes place in the church. So food is served to those who are in need of that food, the homeless people. And this is an opportunity for everyone across Britain, whoever's participating. Over 200 mosques are participating in this national event. And it's an opportunity for us to demonstrate to the public that we are integrating with our local community, and we are making effort to be one community, to have a cohesion and an understanding and an understanding of love and peace amongst the local neighborhood and the wider community.
Muslim community is very diverse as well, Mullah Qasim Ali. They don't just originate from one part of the world. It's not restricted to one particular race.
Correct, yes. And you find in many mosques, especially here in Peterborough, that you have the members who have come from different backgrounds, different nationalities, and all participating together, not only in worship, but in other activities, humanitarian activities, the other activities that are educational, and they participate together and serve the Peterborough community itself.
Okay, we're going to take a break for Salatul Maghrib Azan. Azan is coming your way in a moment. Brothers and sisters, just a reminder that today, as we did on Monday and all this week on Salaam Radio, Link FM and Inspire FM, we are talking about Visit My Mosque initiative, which is taking place this Sunday across the UK. Please encourage, invite your non-Muslim acquaintances, neighbors, friends to come along and find out more about what we do in our mosques, the sorts of activities that take place there. More in conversation after Azan, inshallah.
You're listening to Salaam Radio, and it's now time for Maghrib Azan.
Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. Ashhadu an la أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمدًا رسول الله أشهد أن محمدًا رسول الله حي على الصلاة حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح حي على الفلاح الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله
الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله. اللهم صل على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما صليت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم وبارك على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما باركت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم في العالمين إنك حميد مجيد. اللهم رب هذه الدعوة التامة والصلاة القائمة آت محمدا الوسيلة والفضيلة وابعثه مقاما محمودا الذي وعدته. اللهم آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار. اللهم بك نحيا وبك نموت وإليك المصير. رضينا بالله ربا وبالإسلام دينا وبمحمد صلى الله عليه وسلم نبيا ورسولا.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu wa bismillah. قال النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم أحب الأعمال إلى الله أدوامها وإن قل.
You're listening to Peterborough's community radio, Salaam Radio, 106.2 FM.
Assalamu alaikum and welcome back after that call to prayer. Salatul Maghrib, the sunset prayer, the fourth prayer of the day that Muslims offer. 5 daily prayers we have as Muslims have to offer. And today here on Salaam Radio, Link FM and Inspire FM, we have done over the past couple of days and will continue to do that until Friday, talk about Visit My Mosque event. And in the studio we have representatives of the Burton Street Mosque in Peterborough, Husseini Islamic Centre, that is, Mullah Qasim Ali and brother Zohair Walji. We're going to come back and have a conversation with them. And if you want to give me a call to share your thoughts, your observations about Visit My Mosque, how important is this event? How important is it for us as Muslims to be sharing our beautiful religion with our colleagues, neighbors, acquaintances who are non-Muslims? And they're often intrigued by Islam. Are we open enough with our acquaintances? Should we be doing more? What more can we do? Visit My Mosque initiative is this Sunday. Is this enough? What more can we do to take the message, the beautiful message of Islam to the wider community of the UK and to show that Islam is a religion of peace, love and harmony. Mullah Qasim Ali, great event on Sunday. It's the third year that you are participating from the Burton Street Masjid, and the volunteers are now looking forward to being part of this.
Yes, the volunteers have put in a lot of efforts in preparing the whole program, and they're all looking forward to. And I think the preparation will start very early in the morning, because the time for our mosque open day is from 2 p.m. to 5 p.m.
2 till 5 at the Husseini Islamic Centre, Burton Street Masjid, Burton Street Mosque. 2 till 5 this Sunday, Visit My Mosque event. That's Burton Street Mosque in Peterborough. What's the format going to be like? Someone walks in, parks their car up, and they've never been in a mosque before. They're probably a little bit nervous. They're not a Muslim. If there are any, I'm sure there are some non-Muslims listening to this broadcast. What message do you have for them?
The message is, of course, you are welcome, and there is nothing to fear about, because as soon as you come into the center, into that area, park your car, or you come walking, whichever way you come, the first thing is that you will be welcomed by one of the volunteers. And as soon as you're welcomed, you get yourself registered. And then there are refreshments ready there. And once you can have refreshments then, or you can have refreshments afterwards, or you can have them before and after. There is no
Both
problem with
times.
that. Yes.
Plenty of refreshments.
Yes. And after that, there are then volunteers who will take you inside the center, and there where all the exhibitions and the other, the projects that have been made will all be displayed, and they will be shown. And the most important thing is that you have the opportunity to ask. So you should not feel shy, because there will be volunteers there to to answer your questions. We have a special program which is called Ask a Scholar. Yeah. So there will be someone there, and at that particular time you sit together, and maybe 10, 15 people sitting and asking question to the scholar, and the scholar is replying. But even after that, if you still wish to discuss, that's the opportunity where you get and you can learn much, much more about the religion of Islam and about the community itself.
Plenty of opportunity for non-Muslim guests to have a one-to-one conversation as well.
Yes. I say that those people who have do not have understanding about Islam, and maybe are influenced by media or some other, news, they should try and make a visit to any one of the mosques here in Peterborough, and they will come to realize as to how much the news that they are receiving may not be the right thing. The religion of Islam is something different in something what the Muslims are practicing. You come to know firsthand.
Okay.
So,
well, Qasim Ali, again, we're ready for another break. Time is running so fast. I think this clock is running faster than it normally does because we're really having this wonderful conversation. Visit My Mosque events in Peterborough this Sunday, 18th of February, as they are across the UK. Over 200 mosques in many cities and towns across the UK participating, most of them for the best part of the afternoon. We have guests in the studio from the Burton Street Mosque in Peterborough in the Salaam Radio studios, and inshallah we'll be having more conversation with them after the break, and we'll also be telling you the times of the different mosques in Peterborough. Stay right where you are. Join us after the break, inshallah.
Stay tuned to Salaam Radio after this short ad break.
Have you visited Amar Food Store yet? Now open at Lincoln Road Triangle, 613B Lincoln Road, Peterborough. Pay us a visit and take advantage of our special offers and great range of products on groceries, vegetables, fruits and halal meat. All your favourite brands under one roof. We take payment by card, have free customer parking and offer a free local delivery service. Also available, PayZone for bill payments and money transfer services to Pakistan. Amar Food Store and Halal Meat. Now open at Lincoln Road Triangle. Call us on 01733 68 73 74. High in quality, low in prices.
Let's get ready to rumble! Top Yard School of Boxing presents an afternoon of amateur boxing. Sunday the 18th of February at Gladstone Park Community Centre, Peterborough, PE1 2AN. Doors open 1 p.m. for a 1:30 p.m. start. Exciting and thrilling boxing action, along with a raffle, hot food and refreshments. Advance tickets are only £10 for adults and £5 for under 12s. Tickets on the door are £15. Get your advance tickets now from 07790 928 546. Top Yard School of Boxing, Amateur Boxing Afternoon, Sunday the 18th of February, 1 p.m. at Gladstone Park Community Centre.
Third world and developing countries are home to some of the most vulnerable children on the planet. Malnutrition, severe lack of medical aid and access to clean water are just some of the horrific challenges faced by orphans across Africa and Asia. Children of Adam, a Peterborough charity, need your help to bring aid to these orphans for just £25 a month. To sponsor an orphan or assist with other projects, please call 0300 321 0032 or visit www.childrenofadam.net.
Do you own a restaurant or takeaway? Cater Fair is an expert supplier of new and used commercial catering equipment. Visit caterfair.co.uk for quality equipment on sale at the lowest prices, or call us on 01733 310 115 or visit us at 11 Royce Road, Fengate, Peterborough.
Need a great place to chill out? Look no further than The Lounge for quality food and drinks at a great price. Try our varied menu: pasta, seafood, burgers, grills, salad, soup, rice and sides. Also hot and cold drinks, milkshakes and mocktails. Leave room for our exquisite desserts. The Lounge, 417 Lincoln Road, Peterborough. Call 01733 709 306 to order for delivery. The Lounge, friendly service with a great atmosphere.
Did you know that cow's milk has a cure for every illness in it? Yes, it's true. On the authority of Abdullah ibn Masud, may Allah be pleased with him, the Prophet ﷺ said, "Drink cow's milk, for verily it eats from all kinds of vegetation, and it is a cure for every illness."
يا صادق الأقوال يا محمد، يا طاهر الأخلاق يا محمد، يا هدي الأكوان يا محمد، يا تاج رسل الله يا محمد، يا خير خلق الله يا رسول الله.
Assalamu alaikum and welcome to the second half of the program with me, Ansar Ali. Delighted to have your company on Salaam Radio, Link FM and Inspire FM. We are talking about Visit My Mosque initiative. This year it is this Sunday, the 18th of February, and we've been talking about Visit My Mosque on Link FM, Salaam Radio FM and Inspire FM. All this week. Today our guests are from Burton Street Mosque in Peterborough, and we'll be having further conversation with them as well very shortly. In the meantime, let me welcome a caller. Darren, you're live on Salaam Radio. Good evening to you.
Now then, how are you, sir?
I'm very well, thank you very much. All the better for hearing from you.
I believe you.
Yeah, thank you. Right, okay, your thoughts, your experience of visiting the mosque last year as part of Visit My Mosque initiative. You went to a Peterborough mosque, Darren. What did you think? How did you think it went?
Well, I thought it was really, really interesting. I thought it was very well organised. Met some fabulous people.
Was I there?
I've got to say, you were. Yeah, you were there. Fantastic food. I've got to say the food is immense. But from a learning point of view, one of the elements I really enjoyed reading about were the information plaques that are on the side, and it was talking about the involvement of science within the Islamic religion, and over the centuries how a fundamental part that's played. So that was very interesting to sort of read and then become aware of. And it was nice to see and speak to people who hadn't previously stepped foot in a local mosque in the city, so that they could see, firsthand what happens, how things work, and ask any questions that they want, because there was a real openness about the whole event, and I came away feeling a lot more informed, confident in being able to not represent the religion, but be able to challenge people when they are perhaps saying things that aren't true.
Thank you, Darren. And how important do you think that we have events like this? And how important is it for non-Muslims who've probably never met a Muslim, never been in a mosque before? They may have an opinion based on what they've read in the media, etc. What would you say to them, Darren?
I'd say, do you know what, even if it's just 5 minutes, you pop your head in, have a quick skirt around, have a look, etc., do it. 5 minutes is nothing, but you learn a lot. And is it worth doing? Of course it is. Like you say, unfortunately, we do live in a country where sort of right-wing views can be prominent in some particular media. And a lot of what you read, don't forget, is often simply the views of one individual. So if you are to become more aware yourself, there is generally only one thing you can ever do, and that is to go and experience things firsthand.
And one of the things that we should all be proud of, the wonderful diversity that we have in this country.
Yeah, I mean, obviously diversity, not just from a cultural point of view, from a biological point of view, is very, very important. I can't stress enough how important it is to have a variety of DNA in order for us to maintain a quality society. It is about going and finding out about your neighbours, what's involved and what happens within the mosque. And I think, obviously, when you look at the campaign across the rest of the country, it's fantastic. And if people are looking to find out information, they just need to use the hashtag Visit My Mosque. and whatever platform you're on, you will find some interesting information, pictures, and of course videos.
And of course, people like you who have visited the mosque before are encouraging those around you to go along.
Absolutely, yeah. We'll be popping down this Sunday, and I shall be obviously looking for more free food. So
we're looking forward to welcoming you, Darren. Thank you very much for your contribution on Salaam Radio.
Take care.
Take care. Thank you. Bye-bye. That was Darren sharing his experience of visiting a mosque in Peterborough. We have another caller. It is Richard. Richard, you're live on Salaam Radio. Good evening to you.
Good evening, Ansar.
Thank you very much for coming on Salaam Radio and Link FM and Inspire FM in Luton, Sheffield and Peterborough. And people can listen to us online as well. They can watch us on Facebook. We are talking about Visit My Mosque event. And you came to one of these events in Peterborough along with your daughter. What sort of impression did that leave you and your daughter?
Well, it was the first time for both of us. And, well, the first thing I'd say was it was an incredibly informal occasion. And we were immediately welcomed in a very warm way by everybody present. And I have to say my daughter took it in her stride and surprised me by explaining to me just how much she already understood about Islam from her schooling. And it was an extremely engaging experience.
Obviously, they learn about all the different religions as well. But sometimes the opportunity to go and visit a mosque, see what actually happens in a mosque, adds to the learning.
Absolutely. I think it made it very real for her. She is growing up in a very multicultural society, in a school where she has many, many different ethnicities and religious faiths, and she takes it all in her stride. But it was fantastic to actually have the opportunity to put it in context, to have the way in which Muslims worship explained to us properly in a way that we perhaps hadn't fully understood before we went. And of course, she commented on the food, as I think your last caller, Darren, did. Yes. It's a common language food, but it was a very, very welcoming experience, and I found that the crowd of people that had turned up there from all walks of life were really getting something out of it. And as your earlier caller said, 5 minutes, half an hour, whatever you can spare, I'd say it was time well spent.
Absolutely. And how important is it from your perspective, living in a diverse city like Peterborough? We have a wonderfully diverse country as well. How important is it for us all to be learning more about each other's faith, culture, etc.?
Hugely important. I grew up in a family that we were taken to church every week, and we thought we were very sort of open-minded about things, and we had a church environment where the local community were invited to drop in. There was a cafe there and everything, and we met a lot of people from many different backgrounds. But I have to say that despite that, there were still barriers that society had created between us and our social group and people from the Islamic faith, perhaps from Buddhist faith, from Hindu faith, and so on. And I think it's become so much more important today because we have got a society where there are some people who would like to spot these divisions and use them to their own political or social ends. And we've got to do our utmost to break down those barriers and say, actually, we have more in common.
Absolutely. That's absolutely correct. And that's what I often say, that once we start talking to each other, and talking is the best way to move forward, to create that understanding and respect for each other.
Absolutely, yes. And, since moving to Peterborough myself some 14 years ago, I have made a huge number of friends in many different communities. And, I find that through conversation, often over food, you discover that actually you share many of the same concerns for the world and society. And actually, we're all in it together, as it were.
Okay, Richard, one last question. I know it was a year ago since you went. What was one thing that still remains in your mind about your visit?
I came away with a very clear impression of how much support there is in the community, and how important mosques are as the sort of focal point for the Muslim community. It was very obvious to me that they were holding, the mosque is really central to everything, and that it's not something that people from outside the community should think of as having some kind of mystique. It's genuinely a community centre where people express their religious faith and support each other in practical ways.
And lastly, no doubt that because you were so positive, you're encouraging other people to come along and participate and attend and make that visit this Sunday.
Absolutely, and of course, as you said at the start of the program, there's plenty of choice for people. They can visit more than one of the mosques this time around. I would encourage people to go along. Great fun, and you'll meet some lovely people.
Richard, thank you very much indeed for your contribution here on Salaam Radio, Link FM and Inspire FM. Take care.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. That was Richard Ferris talking to us about his experience of visiting a mosque in Peterborough. Brothers and sisters, a reminder once again that this wonderful national initiative is taking place this Sunday. More than 200 mosques across the country are participating in Visit My Mosque initiative. Hussein Islamic Centre, Burton Street Mosque is one of them. So is the Gausia Mosque in Peterborough and Khatija Mosque Islamic Centre in Peterborough as well. And other mosques in Luton and Sheffield, Leicester, many other places. I haven't got time to mention all the cities, but there's a mosque in every town in city just about that is participating. It is our responsibility to encourage all our non-Muslim acquaintances, our neighbours, our colleagues to come along. Invite them, give them that personal invitation. Brothers are here. It's so important because we work with non-Muslims, and giving that personal invitation, just saying that Richard, Denise, Alan, I'm going to be there, and here's a personal invitation from me to you, because you're always asking me, why am I fasting and things like that? Which mosque do I go to? Why not come along and see which mosque I go to, and I'll be there to welcome you.
Yeah, there is nothing better than a personal invitation. We at the Burton Street Mosque have obviously printed leaflets out, and the leaflets are being personally distributed to the neighbours, and they are being distributed in various other parts within the city. It's important that obviously to invite our work colleagues. There is no there is no restriction as far as who can attend. It can be young children, adults, youths, grandparents, name it, anyone can come. And as most of the callers have already mentioned, that they came and the experience was a good experience. These are individuals who've been to the mosque, and this is a confirmation for you that there is nothing to be fearful about. This is an opportunity to experience the event firsthand. A lot of preparation is going on in the background. This is an opportunity to create dialogue between different faiths, between different cultures. The very concept of a mosque is the mosque is an open place. It's a place where individuals from different ethnicities and different backgrounds, different nationalities all come together, and they come there for one reason, and that's to form a community. And of course there is the worship aspect of it, but that's that's the small aspect of it. The bigger aspect of it is to form a community, to then go outside and take those values outside and form a bigger community.
And it is about that that taking that message outside to the wider community. Just a reminder once again that any of our listeners, if they want to make a contribution, share any of their thoughts about Visit My Mosque, you can give me a ring on 01733 602 133, and we will take your calls live on air as well. You better hurry because time is running fast. Mullah Qasim Ali, quite often mosques are always very busy, particularly on Fridays, and they are usually in neighborhoods where there are other non-Muslims as well living, and quite often maybe they have never been in a mosque before. And Brother Zohair very aptly put that you're putting leaflets through the letterboxes to invite those people. So those neighbors, first and foremost priority, yes, I did say colleagues and acquaintances and what have you, but neighbors, people living around mosques as well. Because sometimes those people may be inconvenienced a little bit because Friday prayers draw a lot of people, car parking, etc. But if we invite them, they find out more about what we do, there would be better understanding, more tolerance.
Yes, and experiences have shown that when we have extended invitation to the neighbors, and when they come to visit, they talk openly about what are the maybe difficulties they're finding or anything, and that gives us a food of thought as to how to look after the neighbors. Okay. In our center, it's not only during the open day, but may come the Christmas time, and we give out gifts to the neighbors also to say that it is coming from the mosque. So it is very, very important that people living around the mosque must, get the opportunity to come to the mosque to understand as to what we are doing. Because once you come on Friday, example, they wouldn't know exactly what we are doing. Yes. But once they come and talk to us and they ask, okay, why on Friday so many cars? Is it the only day you worship? So you get the opportunity to explain to them as to what actually takes
Friday
place
is
on
the most
Friday.
important day of the week, absolutely.
Yes, and so neighbors, and we know that in Islam, the neighbors have a right. And that's the right of being a human being like us.
Absolutely. And, Maulana Sahab, I was reading and listening that, it's only just a little bit less responsibility towards neighbors than your basically your family. Yes. Apart from, I think, in the inheritance, they have every other right over you.
That's right. That's according to the tradition of the Holy Prophet, absolutely. Where Prophet himself says that I'm afraid that I get the order from God that I should also put them in my list of inheritors. But you have to be very, very particular and, fulfill your duties towards your neighbors. It's very important.
Absolutely, very important. And one of the myths often, Maulana Qasim Ali, is that our women sometimes are invisible within our mosques as well. And at this open day, in all the mosques that we've heard, our women are going to be equally, if not more, of a leading part.
I think it's more of a leading part in the sense that it is the women who show the interest. It is the women who encourage and say, let's, organize this well. They come up with brilliant ideas. So I think when they come down to the mosque, any non-Muslim comes down, and if he has a wrong idea that women are being, God forbids, mistreated, it's not so. They come to realize how important women are in a Muslim community.
And women within your congregation, within congregations of the masjids, do play a part?
Oh yeah, women are playing an equal part in all the activities that are organized in the Husseini Islamic Center. And one thing that I want to mention to all the listeners is that there will be some calligraphy and some henna, and that will be coordinated by women, and many people tend to like those activities. So it's an opportunity for you to experience the journey in the mosque. It's an opportunity to help yourself understand your colleagues, your human brothers and sisters, and their beliefs. The whole purpose is we want to live together in harmony, and we want to be a cohesive community. We want to be understanding of each other's beliefs and faiths and cultures so that we can be prosperous in the future.
Muslims should not exist in isolation from the wider society.
No, Muslims are part of the society, and Muslims are human beings just like any other human being. we all have values and beliefs, and I am a strong believer that every human being should be given choices. They shouldn't be stereotyped, they should be understood, and they should form part of the community. Every individual plays an important part in the community.
Absolutely. And Mullah Qasim Ali, I think there's a walk-in, there are dates there as well, because when you mentioned earlier, talking about the month of Ramadan, how we break the fast as well, with dates and things like that, things about Hajj as well, about displays.
Yes, and these are, things that are organized and arranged for one particular reason, and that is a person who comes here without knowing anything at all would leave with some information about what it is going on. Let's say, for example, during Hajj period, the media shows around so many people going around Kaaba and the pelting of the stones and all these things. And someone will say, what are these people doing? Well, when they come and when they see and when they hear and listen, and they come to realize that there is a greater philosophy behind this, okay? And to add to that point that Muslims do not live in isolation, in fact, it is necessary for the Muslims to live with the general society, because the Lord is not Lord of Muslims only. Lord is Lord of the universe.
Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, yes, He's created all of us, and we must respect and cherish one another, be helpful, be supportive, and the religion of Islam is all about peace, love and harmony. Finally, Brother Zohair, a message to our listeners from representatives of Burton Street Mosque, an invitation?
So again, as I said at the very beginning, it's an open invitation, it's an experience, it's an opportunity for you and for us to have dialogue. Many of the callers have already explained their experience during the event. There will be refreshments, as Mullah Sahab mentioned, and there will be something there for everyone. So we can assure you that you're not going to go away without something. So please do attend.
Come along. The timings again, please, at the
time
Burton Street Masjid.
At the Hussein Islamic Center, it is from 2 p.m. to 5 p.m. So anytime, you can walk in at any time and stay as long as you want.
You don't need to book a place, just come along and you would be most welcome. Visit My Mosque initiative at the Hussein Islamic Center, Burton Street Mosque in Peterborough from 2 p.m. 2 p.m. till 5 p.m. this Sunday. Everyone welcome. Parking, free refreshments, exhibitions, question and answer session. And also participating is Gausia Masjid in Peterborough. We had guests from Gausia Masjid in Peterborough on Monday here on Salaam Radio, Inspire FM and on Link FM as well. At the Gausia Mosque in Peterborough, 406 Gladstone Street, Peterborough, this Sunday from 1 p.m. till 6 p.m. Everyone welcome. And Khatija Masjid, the Islamic Center, 311 Cromwell Road, Peterborough, from 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. Everyone welcome. And in all those mosques, you will have an opportunity to observe prayers as well. Couple of more bits of information to give you, but first let me thank my guests for today, representatives of Burton Street Mosque, Hussein Islamic Center, Mullah Qasim Ali and Brother Zohair Walji. Thank you very much indeed.
Thank you.
Thank you for inviting us.
It's been a pleasure talking to you about.
Thank you.
And we wish you every success for this Sunday, inshallah. A few bits of other information. It's your festival. Get involved in Peterborough Millfield Festival 2018. Next meeting, 19th of February. Next week, 6 till 7:30 p.m. at the Gladstone Park Community Centre. Further information from Josie Stone, the number 01733 864 529. You can email Josie Stone as well, josie.stone@vivacity.org. A foreign policy, an event taking place at the Key Theatre in Peterborough. Discussion, question and answer session, 3rd of March, 7:15 p.m. at the Key Theatre. And this Sunday, amateur boxing comes to Peterborough, organised by Top Yard School of Boxing at the Gladstone Park Community Centre from 1:30 p.m. Boxing will start at 1:30 p.m. and doors open at 1 p.m. Go along and support amateur boxers there. And you've been listening to Salaam Radio, Inspire FM, and of course Link FM. A final reminder that Visit My Mosque initiative, over 200 mosques over the UK participating much of the Sunday, mostly in the afternoons. Everyone is welcome. We all have a responsibility to invite our neighbours, our acquaintances, our colleagues to come along, and an opportunity for us to share our beautiful religion of Islam with non-Muslims. Please invite those non-Muslims that you know to come along and give them that personal invitation and say to them that you are going to be there yourself to welcome them as they arrive at the mosque. They all have refreshments on offer as well. Visit My Mosque this Sunday, 18th of February. Let's make sure that it is well supported and people go back with better information, more informed about the beautiful religion of Islam, which is all about peace, love and harmony. My thanks to my guests, and above everything else, my thanks to you for your very pleasant company. Allah Hafiz.
Stay tuned to Salaam Radio after this short ad break.
The Prophet